Dr. Martin, you'll have 30 minutes to give a brief introduction about yourself, answer 6 questions from the community, and if time permits, provide a closing thought to the community. With that in mind, I welcome you, and you can begin your brief introduction.
Okay, thank you. I left my cell phone in the car, and that was the longest half hour to sit back in that room and stare at the walls. So I get where the kids come from nowadays. I've been serving Arizona for over 20 plus years in education. A little bit about me as an educator has to start back, going back to my childhood. I'm the youngest of 6 sisters. I was raised in a single parent home. My mother, she stopped her education in the 6th grade. And so her input to all of us is that when we went to school to learn, that we figure out what we want to be and do it and be the best at it. That was her only recommendation. Public schools are not good for me. Public schools failed me growing up. I was an athlete, probably not a very great one. I got hurt, and I went to a sports medicine clinic, and there was a physician by the name of Skip, and Skip wore round glasses. He was balding at the top. He had grayish blonde hair, and he built me back up physically, and he also built me back up just my spirit, because I was broken. Skip went outside of his job, and he would pick me up and take me places and talk with me and hang out with me because I was broken. I was failed by public schools. I was no longer an athlete. I had no use. The coaches turned their back on me. So this person built me up. When I went to college, I went to the advisor, and because of Skip, I said, I want to be a doctor. And I tell this is probably the only story I tell repeatedly. She looked at me in the face and she laughed. She said, "You'll never be a doctor." And that lit the fire for me because someone had told me what I could not do, what I could not be. But I never wanted to be a teacher, never wanted to be an educator because it was traumatic for me. I was on a medical track. And my last year, I went to the local high school and started tutoring. And I went back and said, wow, like this is what I want to do. I want to become a teacher. And my advisor looked at me like I was crazy. You want to go be a teacher? You hate education. I hadn't dealt with the things that I took from public education. So I was one of those people who fell backwards into education. And my career has taken me on some pretty awesome journeys for school reform, improving schools, academics, working with organizations across the country. And we go into some of the hardest hit communities, the schools that are just academically horribly performing, and we would turn them around. I've had the opportunity to write charters, design schools, work with community colleges to improve their learning systems. So I think I've been on this campaign, my career, of never accepting no. I love schools. Schools, when you go inside of a school, to me, it's the happiest place on earth. You go behind those 4 doors and it's a little city. I love everything about education. That's all I've ever been great at doing. So I just have this belief. When you say to me that it's already been done and we can't do it, I'm the one that will challenge that status quo. Because we cannot build futures, we cannot build people. Again, we're not building buildings, we're not making cars, we're building people. And it takes a lot to build people because they're still growing. So that's been my career, that's been me as a person, and that's what I hope to bring to Apache Junction. I have served nearby, so I'm very familiar with Apache Junction. Grew up also in a small town, so there's a lot of connection there for me as well. But my dedication and my tenure as an educator has been to connect with people wholeheartedly and to change schools for the better and to empower people to work, to do more. Because when those kids graduate, they deserve every chance they get to go be what they want to be out there in the world. So in short, I will cut myself off because I could literally go on, but in a nutshell, that's me as an educator. So I will pause and open it up for questions.